Hi all, right, welcome back. Enemy action Ardennes. Enemy action Ardennes? Oh, okay. No, it's not. Enemy action Kharkov. Right, not long out of bed, but thought I was feeling fresh and ready to go, but yeah, playing the wrong game. Okay, enemy action Kharkov, Soviet solo. Take 2, this is part 74 now. We've still not got the end of this turn because we've been kind of clogged up with just this situation about if we're doing things right here, and a couple of things came in, and it seems that John Butterfield's comment regarding trying to fix things here isn't such a bad thing after all. Well, I'm not saying it was a bad thing. It is maybe required after all, because I think it could affect this situation here where I'm talking about joining the attack, because Martin did come back. Hang on, I'm looking at the wrong. Give me a sec. Yeah, because I posted another question regarding join the attack. I'm asking when units are instructed to join attack, do they do this after all the active units have moved adjacent to the target, or are they included in the ascending order movement adjacent to the target? So basically, do they all being considered from the start, or do we move the active units first and then they join in ascending order? I wasn't sure. I don't find that too clear, but I've not got a confirmed answer to that part yet. I'm going to go with, just so we can carry on, I'm going to go with the fact we've done it this way, and I'm going to go with ascending order from the start. So look at all the units, move the lead unit, and then consider every other unit that's going to join the attack, whether it's joining the attack or whether it's active, in ascending order. But I'm not 100% sure that's right yet. I posted a follow-up sort of question when Martin replied, but asking that, but he's not come back then. And then I've also asked, would these units that join the attack be classed as non-active units? Because that's what it does say. I mean, it's kind of written on the card that says they're non-active units, so why I'm actually asking that, I don't know. I guess I just chucked it in there at the end. I think I remember rushing back and adding that to the comment. Basically, to find out, mainly, just with my thinking of the legitimate movement restriction, that is, don't cause any German unit in Hex and Soviet support to be put in danger sound unless that unit is active and not yet acted. Which is, it's that one that's coming into everything here, really. So Tom Castle came back and says, I'm not sure if it makes any difference, but are you considering reinforced tactic or the text on German Kampfgruppe cards? Well, neither, Tom, but maybe I didn't make that quite so clear. But Martin's replied, and yeah, he knows what I'm on about. He says, I'm sure Grant refers to the term join attack that is used on many action cards that include combat. However, it may well be Martin's following along my playthrough and can see this, and whereas Tom may well not be. So Martin says the parts I'm certain of are that they move in ascending order, and that they are non-active units. So all he said there is the parts I'm certain of are they move in ascending order, but it's still not quite clear to me if that means move the active units in ascending order, then move the join attack units in ascending order. I get the feeling the way that he's got that worded is that it's maybe common sense that I should be considering them all and then going in ascending order, but I did ask back. And then the other bit, yeah, they're non-active units. Like I said, did I really need to ask that? He does carry on, the information you find in the German action terminology and the German combat sequence, unfortunately, do little to clarify the rest. So yeah, then I came back and confirmed that was what I was talking about for Tom. And then I've asked a follow-up question, so are they included in the ascending order from the start, i.e. including the active units? And I said, the fact Tom had said he doesn't think it makes any difference, I think that could, I've carried on, this could affect the placement of the units and the possibility that certain units, though proximate, may not be able to move to the target due to overstacking or restrictions. And I think that could happen. It didn't happen here because this unit it still ended up in the same hex as it would have no matter how we done it. So in actual fact, we can carry on as is. But I could see a case where if there was more units involved, that if we, depending on how we did do it, then certain units may not get into the attack. I mean, that stack is full now, so say there's another unit that could only reach this hex, then he can't come in. So we do need to confirm that the order, you know, I'm going to take it for now. Hopefully Martin might come back and see that follow-up question. I'm going to take it for now that everything is included. We move the lead unit and then look at everything else in ascending order. That's what I'm going to do. And then the fact that non-active units, again, I suppose Tom is, well, he didn't think any of this would make any difference, but I'm trying to like explain where I think it might. And then the fact Martin said they are non-active units, to say, okay, this did seem clear, but I then noticed that this would have an effect on them. And the what I then quote is that restriction: don't cause any German unit in hex and Soviet support to be put in dangerous round unless that unit is active, and I've got that in bold, and not yet acted. But then I've also realised that, though I guess John's alteration could maybe work around this, because what John's alteration to this is basically saying that any of these units, how is it he worded it again? In preparation for the attack. So all these units are preparation for an attack. This card says they may end their move in dangerous around. That should be all we need, you know. As long as he's saying that we follow this. I'm just going back to that bit just now. So yeah, and I just said I was getting a bit bogged down, so I'm sorry if I was going on a bit about this. It's maybe like going too far. So going back to the major offensive question that I'd posted, and like I say, let's just look at what John Butterfield's response was again. So, hi all, took me a while to get to the core of this confusion, including mine. Here is a clarification that is limited to action cards. He's got that in bold. So this is only limited to action cards. Let me know if it deals with the issue. So, in quotes, if an action card directing a unit to move to attack allows the unit to end move in dangerous round, that allowance applies to the unit throughout moves of all units in preparation for that particular attack. So that kind of covers it all, doesn't it? I mean, I thought it was a bit long-winded at first, but I like it because of what it's talking about, and that word preparation kind of, you know, when I read that again, I thought, wait now, these are all preparing for attack, so they don't care. They're allowed to end in dangerous round. And if by one of them moving puts one of the other ones in dangerous round, it doesn't matter. Now, going back to my point about, okay, these units have all moved. Now, are they classed as having moved? Are they classed as, are the units that have are active and not yet acted? Or are the units that have acted but are still active? So this does bring up a little bit of confusion. So where do we go from that? Yeah, so Martin comes back in, and Alessandro also makes a comment, basically backing up that they think that John's addition here, clarification, should be brought in. So yeah, and I do agree now as well when I see where we're at, because there is still confusion about what state these units are in. I mean, I would say they're active units, but have they acted? Well, let's look at Martin's reply here, because I think it kind of covers it. He says the German action terminology can cause some confusion here. In the list of terms that defines an action, you find movement and combat as separate entries. So they're separate actions, movement and combat, right? So then he carries on, an active unit is defined as a unit that has not yet performed an action. Well, there you go. No, sorry, I'm just butting in before I finish it. There you go. He's already said that movement's an action, combat's an action. These units have carried out movement, so are they still classed as active units? Because an active unit is defined as a unit that has not yet performed an action. Well, they have performed an action. I think, yes, something could be written to, and maybe we're reading far too deep into this because, we've clearly only carried out part of the action, But within the way the rules are, then maybe something, these things need to be brought up probably, and so that something could be added to say that, look, when you're considering attack action cards, they're at the moment they've not completed, they're not inactive units now because they've still got, because then how could they carry out the combat, So again, it's maybe one of these ones that common sense tells you that they're halfway through their action, if you like, So then he carries on, unlike actions that involve only movement, those that include combat technically can consist of more than one action. But this is clearly not the intent, of course, just as I've been saying. I think movement and combat together is the action in your example. Of course it is. So they're still active units. And just I suppose a wording on the restriction, that's again something that. But of course, John's clarification kind of clears that up in a way. But I do think there's something that could be taken from that too, to say that these units are still active and not yet fully acted. Maybe it should be written as. Hang on, let me think of this. Maybe it could be unless that unit is active and not yet fully completed its action, something like that. Because it does just say and not yet acted. And in fact, is it not slightly different in the rule book? Did I not read it as different? The rule book, it says, it's restrictions, grant. It says, do not conduct a move that causes an R German unit to be put in dangerous round in a Hex and Soviet support unless that other unit is active and has not yet performed its action. I like that better. Even that bit, the fact that it's got its action, okay, we're compressing things by coming over at the player aid, but it kind of tells you, it's kind of common sense here. Well, it hasn't completed its action yet, and it's still active, so, we're good. However, okay. We'll get to the end of this part yet. So Martin carries on, second paragraph, by, that said, the part of the movement restriction quote that reads, unless that unit is active and not yet acted, could be improved, as I'm just saying here, I think, since, while we concluded that the unit is still active after its movement, it's difficult to say that it has not yet acted at this point. I think a clarification of the type John suggests can only be beneficial, and I think that with that clarification that John's talked about removes the need to know that what the state of this unit is in. This unit is still, it's preparing for combat, it's moved in, it's, I would have to say that they're still active, but we don't need to know if they've acted or if they've acted yet by making a move or they've still got to act. It doesn't matter if he brings in that clarification, it covers things. So very good, Martin. I think that's a good explanation there. Alessandro comments, I thought the meaning of, well, he's got acting, I think it maybe means acted, was for dangerous round purpose equivalent of moving, not acted yet in the movement phase, since a unit that still has to move could exit from the dangerous round situation. Yeah, well, I see what he's saying there, and he also says that I think that also that John clarification is quite relevant to your situation. Otherwise, Unit 13 cannot move to attack as you initially remarked. Well, yeah, Alessandro, I get the fact that what you're saying there, but I think I was overriding that by saying that this unit is still active and it's still not completed all its actions, so it doesn't matter if it's in dangerous round. That's what I was trying to say there. But I think it's probably better that it was the designer himself suggested a clarification. He has just suggested it. He's wanting feedback, I think. So I'll maybe comment later on that I do think it's a good idea after all the chat we've had about it, and hopefully I can implement that at some point. And we'll carry on playing it like that because he's the main man. He's told us how it should work, or whether that's how he's seen it should have worked from the beginning. I think so. I think sometimes I get so deeply into these situations that, okay, some of them are quite nice to come up. We're finding we're having to get clarifications, but some of you probably would have just breezed through that and wouldn't need a clarification and just went, oh, that's how it, common sense tells you that's how it works, crap. So, sorry if I've gone on and on a bit about it, but well, that's me. Right, can we get on with things then? So I'm gonna, the other bit is like I said, I'm still not 100% sure if the active units should have moved first, then the join attack units should have moved in ascending order, or if they all get bundled into one, lead unit moves. Yeah. So that's what I've done. Lead unit moves, and then they all move ascending after that. So this guy's in trouble, isn't he? Yeah, just a little. I don't know what the odds are. They're not good. Remember, we've got intelligence and artillery on the actual major offensive. Remember also that if the target's eliminated or dispersed, they're going to conduct another activation with the 2nd SS. Oh, just as well, you just talked about that, Grant, because I made a mistake that I said I was going to correct, and I should do that now before we carry on here. So give me a second. That some of you might have remembered. It's these guys here, and yes, it's going back a bit. Well, it must have been going back to the previous impulse that we had the 2nd SS, which is in the discarded pile. It's 6 cards ago. I mean, remember, some of them could have been combat tactics, but I think it was a couple impulses ago, I want to say. Might have been 3. We did have one impulse where they replaced... No, in fact, I think we've had 2 recent impulses where replacement points have been added. 3rd Corps and 48 Corps, I think. Okay, well, let's get the error fit. Well, I think it's an error, so hang on. Okay. This was back in part 70, and I did make a wee comment in the header because I noticed it when I was watching it back myself, but I just put it out there anyway because, or actually, no, I don't think I'd noticed it at first after reviewing it back. I think it was just, no, I must have done, because I remember that I actually discussed other units. Right, what are we talking about, Grant? Right, movement method 6, is it not? Move proximate to empty Soviet VP hex if not already proximate, okay? And I was laughing and joking. This was the 2nd SS movement, and I was laughing and joking about the fact these units were away along here. There was another one of the ones that's moved in there was up here as well, and what it was this is when these guys had attacked here and I'd retreated 1 hex. So this VP hex was open. Was gettable at, and I remember commenting, I checked everything because it was the 2nd SS that had activated. They had attacked, brought in a 48 Corps unit as well, I think, whether it was assault coordination or reinforced battle, I can't remember, and attacked, and they got 1 hit on me, which I chose to retreat. At first I was going to just take the step loss, and then I thought, wait a minute, because I had the 3rd Tank Army card in my hand. Took the hit, and I looked around, I thought, well, nothing else is proximate to the actual hex, so it's not as if anything in this impulse can move in. I'll just wait until my next impulse, activate the 3rd tank, move back in there, and then I've not had to take a step loss. Didn't mean I had to activate the 3rd tank, but I had the card in my hand. I don't know, I mean, whether some of you would have just took the step losses, sat there. I think it was a better way of doing it, but anyway, however, we then moved on to what the rest of the units would do, and because that was obviously in the action card draw, whatever the attack action was, I can't remember. and moved on to, well, first step 5 and then step 6, moved proximate to empty Soviet VP hex. And like I say, I was saying, I was looking back here, I think they were further back actually, and I was able to get them to here, but they were never going to be in a range that was proximate, you know. And then there was also a couple of guys down here. So I looked at everybody, apart from these 2 guys. So, and they hadn't done anything yet, because they had just been sitting there. I mean, you know, they wouldn't have done anything. They didn't do anything in the draw 2 action cards. They didn't have enough strength. There was no attack. That was the only attack. At least I believe that's right. Yeah. Because I remember looking at them and what, they got 9 strength? But we weren't able to, where they are, we weren't able to get in. Yeah, we weren't able to get anything within whatever the attack was. Hang on, let me find out what the attack card was. Yeah, it was pincer attack, which has some interesting differences when it comes to selecting unit attacks. But anyway, it's unit stack activation, and it's 2 times greater than or equal to 2 times. So these 2 units had nowhere that they could go to get this. So they sat and done nothing. But when I got to step 6, I never considered them, and yet they are the closest to this. Right, now I'm not trying to move them to the actual hex, because that would have had to been done in step 2, which is moved to VP hex. Not that they can reach it anyway, but that would have been done in step 2, and this combat was actually within step 3, so we'll move past step 2. However, step 6, and it's in ascending order, move proximate to empty Soviet VP hex if not already proximate. So he can go 1, now admittedly he's got to go through the woods here, and then I thought, oh well, maybe he can't get, but he's only trying to get proximate, remember. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's him. He's got to stop there, he can't even get across there. So if he was there, he's then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 into the town. So him moving to here is proximate to that. So I think he should have done that. And remember, he's leaving a buddy behind in here. Now we know we're going to put this back in there. So it is going to be a bit of a meh. Oh, don't tell me that's going to... Where's he going to move to? Hopefully that's the 48 core unit, is it? It is. I'm just thinking, if he ends up here, this Kampf group that we're doing just now, he would be 1, there'd be 1, 2 units there. He's outside the 2 hex radius, and the other guy there is just outside that, because that would have then changed this whole complete impulse for the Kampf group, wouldn't it? If I'd been man, because the Kampf group picked up 2 units down here, but if this had moved to a position, see if it had been able to move to there, it would have then picked up 3 units. So we wouldn't have even been doing any of this. Oh, please tell me it can't reach there. I don't think it can, movement-wise, can it? Even if it goes around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean 6. This is the best it can reach, I think. So if he was to be considered as a Kampf group, it would be these 2 still. And I think when you've got a tie, it goes easternmost, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Right, okay, well, where's the preferences to where he's going to move? Prefer a position hex. So can he reach a position hex and still be proximate? I'm not so sure he can. He can't reach that, can he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. I mean, he could reach here, but if he goes there, he's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he can. So I think he's just going to step into that woods hex, which is a little bit strange. But that's right, though, I think. Move proximate to empty Soviet VP hex. And this is an empty Soviet VP hex that we could move proximate to be able to move next turn and move into that hex. if not already proximate. It's one of these kind of daft ones that this unit's going to do this though, because there's plenty of other units proximate to this VP hex, but I don't see anything. I wonder if the rules maybe expand on that a little bit. Step 6. Move the unit to a hex in which the unit would be proximate to an empty Soviet VP hex, if not already proximate to any such hex. Right, hang on here. You could kind of read that in a different way, couldn't you? These are all like, oh Grant, leave it. What I'm thinking about, the way I started reading that, because I suppose it's because how I was thinking here. And my thinking was, we have a unit proximate to this, right? Nothing to do with this guy. We've got a unit proximate. Even if you, I mean, in actual fact, I think you consider dispersed units when you're talking proximate now as well. So they're actually proximate as well. But let's just say they're not for some reason. Then this guy is proximate, right? So, I mean, I don't think I'm right here, to be honest. So it says, move the unit to a hex in which the unit would be proximate to an empty Soviet VP hex. Yeah, no, you know what? It's all one sentence, because it just carries on. Move the unit to a hex in which the unit would be proximate to an empty Soviet VP hex, if not already proximate to any such hex. Yeah. So it is considering him. But I just wonder, I mean, if they put a full stop in there and then said, along the lines, if you've not got another unit that's proximate, because I mean, this guy moving into here on this impulse, and then next impulse we draw a 48th core unit that activates, and he just moves into there. But anyway, we'll put it down to some more of the AI doing some weird things at times. I mean, don't get me wrong, if there was no units proximate, I would say by all means go for it, but could there be something to consider? Look, you've got plenty of other units proximate to it. Just, you know. Okay, so do we think he's going to there then? So he's going to go 1, 2, breaking zone of control, and then 3, 4, 5 into there, and he's just going to stop there. I think so, because the best he can do is reach here. But the preference A is a position hex. Now preference B would be closest to VP hex, which would be here, but preference A, obviously, is preference A. It's the first preference. So I think that guy should have moved there. And that was in that last impulse, the second SS in part 70. By all means, let me know your thoughts on that, if you think there's something off, because I don't see restrictions being broken there at all. However, that does bring us back down to this situation down here. And just had a comment from Martin, but perfect timing, Martin, like I said in my reply, because we were just about to start this combat, and just got distracted with that fix, right enough. But yeah, perfect timing, because, well, he's mentioned a couple of things. He's spotted an error. However, his comment suggests that we need to redo this slightly. I know you're all like, oh no, Grant, just get to the end of the turn, please. What he's basically said was that he's watched the video back, and he actually thinks that we should be moving the active units first, and then the join the attack units should then start moving. And obviously I'm assuming he means in ascending order, because how else would you do it? Hang on. Right, sorry, I dragged the video. Right, yeah, so what he reckons that we should be doing the active units first. And like I say, I could see an argument for that either way. Initially I felt, yeah, we do the active units because this is a sort of after the fact thing, about the non-active units in the Legion Units Army joining, and I kind of thought that, but I wasn't getting a full, complete answer. He does, however, not know 100% sure, but hopefully, well, the other question, John's not commented on the other question that I've got out there about join the attack, so hopefully he might come in, chime in on, be able to confirm that for us either way. However, since Martin is going to go by that way, then I'm going to tag along with that because he's generally right. Always right, Martin. Sorry, always right. sorry. Okay, so, but what he also commented on was, this was the last unit to move. Now, where was he? Was he here or here? I think he was here, but it doesn't matter if he was there or there, because once I move him to there, he's the last unit to move. However, he's now not going to be the last unit to move because he's one of the active units. We then have opened up, we broke a restriction. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This Soviet unit can move proximate to that, so I'm sure someone under ST has spotted that. I was carefully looking at restrictions as well, but, well, there you go, obviously it wasn't, because that last unit to move broke it. In my defence, I will say that I'd already moved this unit and put it back and jumped about, and at first, because I think if we go back now and reset these, which I'm going to do, sorry, I'm going to do, then I think we'll find that this unit will move before any of these other units. There's a couple units in here, isn't there? And they will not allow the proximity. However, it probably will stop one unit from not moving. So I'm going to reset these, and we're just going to quickly put them back together the right way, or hopefully it's the right way. Martin believes active units first, then join attack units. I'm going to go with that. I like that one better than the other one, to be honest. If I was to vote on which one was right, I would have said that. But I could see at some point to just consider all the rest, or, you know, I could see it either way, to be honest. But we'll go with this one now. If it turns out it's wrong and we've done the combat, then so be it. We'll just need to move on from that and then learn from the mistake. Well, to be saying it's a mistake, I don't know. It's not clear. If it was clear, we would be doing it as written. So there. Right. Okay. I'll go and reset these, and we'll get them moved again properly. Okay, that's units reset. Let's start. We know everything now. We know that all these units are going to be in preparation for attack. They don't care about leaving any of them in dangerous round. Now, remember, you've got to consider units that are not going to be preparing for the attack, and also the other restrictions about exposing a German VP hex. So yeah, so we're going to do it as what Martin said he thinks it should be. So this is a lead unit. These are the two units that are active with a Kampf group. This is a lead unit. He's going to move first. He's going to come 1, 2, 3 into there. He goes, doesn't he? Yeah, that's right. Because I don't think, can he not reach the other hex? Oh no, he can reach either, but I think it boils down to lowest number. Oh no, wait now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, he can reach both. Does he come down to the other hex? Maybe he does. Hang on. Okay. Yeah, 10.54. First preference, surround the unit. He's already in surround. Second one, a hex not occupied by or adjacent to a German unit, adjacent to the same Soviet unit. So that's why he doesn't go there, because then you've got two German units adjacent to the same Soviet unit. So that's why he moves there. So unit 13 then looks at all... No, he can't. He's got two options here, and he moves into the empty hex. So let's move on. Right, and then both of them move in did not cause any restrictions, right? Okay, we know this guy's now in dangerous round. He's still preparing for the combat, so he's still allowed to be ending his move in dangerous round. Okay. Right, so that's us moved our active units. So how do they go in ascending order? So we've got 6, 10, 13 and 14. These are all the units that can join. So unit number 6 would then move next. So And it doesn't look like he's going to break the restriction. Yeah, it's going to be this unit that's going to break the restriction, isn't it? So it's going to be similar amount of strength that's not going to get to the battle. Right, so this guy can go 1, 2, 3, 4 into there, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into there. I think it's going to come down to most movement points. It is. So he is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6 into there. Okay, and then unit 10 is the next one. Now, if we do move him, right, and let's just say he goes to that hex, then he's going to break the restriction that Martin's just pointed out to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he cannot make that move. And he cannot enter another hex adjacent to the unit to join the attack without breaking that restriction. So he's not going to move at all. Unit 13 is just going to sit where he is now. If he was able to surround or flank, the unit's already surrounded. And although if this wasn't a town, he probably would go like that so that he get the flank. Oh no, we've already got flank. We're attacking from 3 sides. Anyway, we're not gaining flank anyway because it's in a town, right? So he's just going to sit where he is and does that. And then this last guy, I think just moves into here, doesn't he? Well, he can do 1, 2. Yeah, he's only got one option, so 1, 2, 3. So he moves into there. And again, you just got to double check, nothing being opened up there restriction wise. We're not exposing anything. Hang on a sec. No. Just wonder about, are we 1, 2, 3, 4? Well, actually, that's surroundable. Maybe he's not going to be allowed then. Because remember, although this unit is allowed to be in dangerous sound because he's preparing for the combat, he's wanting to join the attack, this guy's not. So if we are putting... I think he's in dangerous sound anyway, Grant. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, of course he is. He's got these 2 units here anyway. So that is okay. I'm just trying to get less units in the combat here, I think. Trying my best. So I don't think he's breaking any restriction with that. Like I say, we know that by him moving there, 1, 2, 3, 4, we can surround that. But he's actually made the move that time, so it's not as if he's considering our unit. So, okay, I think we're now at the stage where we can go for the combat, right? It's been a long time coming, isn't it? Okay, so what do we have then? 3, 6, 9, 11, 13. 13 against 3. That's 4 to 1. So 4 to 1 odds. Chip pools 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, and then 2 combat tactics on the card, so that's 7. This is a major offensive is brutal, isn't it? It really is. And there's 2 of them in the deck. I definitely seen a second one. Yeah, I definitely seen a second one. Hopefully there's only 2. There can't surely not be 3. Okay, so 7 chip pools. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Intelligence and artillery. And of course they're now going to draw a combat tactic as well. So here we go. Another core rouse card. Would that have deployed? It would have deployed them. Engineers. Well, it's going to apply. I need to leave it there because that does come up if you get a combat chit with engineers on it. And it's going to add strength, isn't it? Is it 2 strength? Does it matter here? Can't remember. Either play raid. These are all the things. I'm never going to remember all these. I don't know if you guys can or not. Combat engineers. Remove an IP from the defender if present. If no IP is present, instead add 2 to the to the attacker's combat strength. The defender may not play the combat engineer's combat tactic in this combat. However, they've got intelligence, and does that not allow me not to play any cards anyway? German CV is considered to be 5. You can't play Soviet combat tactics. Well, there you go. Well, I don't want to anyway. I've got my last piece in my puzzle to try and put together. So, I'm set on doing that. But yeah, this could be bad. Like, we don't want to lose. We can't lose victory points. We're wanting to gain 2 more by the end of turn 9, and we're just coming up to the end of turn 7. It's not going to be easy, is it? Okay, so I can't play Soviet combat tactics. If the printed German CV is 4 or 5, well, it's not, it's a 2. It was the second SS Kampfgruppe card. So it's a 2. But if it had been increased Soviet hits by 1. 5+, if the attack text is not Soviet support, it is in Soviet support, so if it hadn't been, they would get to disregard first hit. So we can't play combat tactics. We've got to remember his CV is a 5 value if any of the chits come up. And he's got artillery, and he's, right, 2 more to the strength, so that's 3, 6, 9, 11, 13. That is going to up the odds to not a nice number. Oh, that's brutal. So it's going to be 15-3. So it's going to be 5-1. 5-1, large attack. We know that's not good when you're on this side of it anyway. And we can't play a card. So, yeah, there's and they've got artillery. A command value of 5 on the card. Okay, it's not looking good, really. Right, well, I might as well get started. We can finish this off and then turn this into a part. And we're at 42 minutes. Who would have thought? Right, okay, so minimum 2, maximum of 7. Alright, what are they going to do? Oh, here's the other thing. Yeah, we're maybe not finished there. Because if they're greater than or equal to 6 steps, which they will be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they've got 10 steps, break off combat at A4, so it's unlikely that they're going to be breaking off due to hits to themselves. So A4 they'll break off, or we're surrounded as well, aren't we? Right, we've got 1 for the town, 1 to retreat into there and take a step loss, that's 2. 1 to retreat again, that's 3. And 1 again, that's 4. So they need D4 or A4 or draw 7 chits. Right, and then the bit that I've just remembered again, if target is eliminated or dispersed, which I'm going to have to be really lucky if that's not going to be the case, then conduct another activation with the same command card after current activation, which is brutal. Okay, I'll get the minimum 2 and we'll see how it's looking. Okay, well, a bad enough start. I mean, I was trying to think what chits that we want, really. Town chits, lots of them, please. Or is there anything else? Not really, is there? No. There's not really anything else that can help us. We've not got a defender adjacent. So first chit was 6-1 on the front. We just managed to avoid that. That would have been D2, but 41 in the back. This was 91 in the front, less than 41 in the back. So, yeah, one hit already. What did I say? D4 eliminates us. Right, so we're going to draw 1 at a time now until we reach some kind of conclusion. Okay, I've got a large attack. Obviously, it doesn't count yet until we reach the 6th chit, but it's going to count. So, right, let's carry on. Okay, another 4-1. It's not looking good, but yeah, knowing that it's only town chits that can really save us. By the way, this was an R61 on the back as well, by the way, so just outside that. However, another 41, so, well, we're only sitting at D2, but we're really sitting at D3, so Yeah. The Germans are getting ready for another impulse, another activation anyway, that's for sure. Yeah, more badness, artillery, so that's D3, technically D4, but we still need to draw this other chit, because the large attack chit is not applying yet, till we reach 6 chits. And D3, let's make sure 1 hit for the town, then 1 retreat and take a step loss, and then 1 to retreat a second hex, disperse. We'd still be alive there with D3, but we are going to die. We're going to die with this chit draw, it doesn't matter. Well, it could be a town, chit. That's probably our only hope. Right, here we go. Yeah, not to be. 6-1 again on the front, but 4-1 counts. So in actual fact, I would have hated if these had all been 5-1, or if we'd went from 3-1 at 4-1, that would have been gutting, wouldn't it? However, they were at 4-1 anyway without the combat chits. So that then brings the large attack into play, because we've drawn 6 chits, which is large attack for the Germans. The only good bit is they're taking a hit, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to us. We're gone, we're going to lose a victory point. Yep, it's all bad. So D5, A1. They weren't negating any hits, were they? No. The intelligence would have done that if we had been out of support, but we weren't, right? So, and it does stop there, it doesn't draw the 7th chit because it's got us eliminated. So yeah, D5, A1, okay. Okay, so there we go, D5, A1. So this guy's gone. Yeah, we'll not bother counting out again, right? So here goes eliminated units box. That's all our hits away, and 1 hit to them. So highest steps is they've all got 2 steps, so it'll be the highest selector number. It's gonna be this guy, isn't it? Yeah, he's 13, he's 14, so they even get away with somebody getting hit that didn't really matter. Oh, hang on, they've got armour. Oh, hang on. Just as well I thought of that. That does count for them too, surely, doesn't it? Assign German step loss to unit with most steps. No, come on. Seriously? That doesn't apply to the Germans. Assign German step loss to unit with the most steps. Among units with the most steps to the unit with the highest selector number. And for us it is assign Soviet step loss to unit of your choice. However, first step loss must be to 3-step unit or armour unit, if any. So although if they had a 3-step unit here, he would have to get hit. It doesn't affect armour for them. That's not nice. I'm gonna double check the rule book for that. Yeah, it seems to be that they're getting away with that one. So it does take it on the highest numbered unit. Doesn't matter if it's armoured or not. So that's that. Right, advance after combat. Now, right, sorry about that. Dogs. Right, so advance after combat. Now, I don't believe these units that joint the attack are restricted in any way from advancing. I don't see anything regarding that. There is restrictions. German advance restrictions. It doesn't mention it there about the... What is it? Right, retreats. Where's advances? Right. Units included in an attack via the assault coordination or reinforced battle combat tactic can advance after combat. Right, so there's nothing to say that these won't advance. There are some restrictions. So you're looking at highest selector number unit. So unit 6, he's going to automatically go in here because it's a VP hex. He's going to advance into there. No restrictions. We lose a victory point. We're now down to 21. Yeah. And I realise the end of turn we're going to lose the other one that's out of supply down on the east map edge. Not that that's going to put us near any danger yet. We need less than 17 at the end of the turn to lose. We're sitting at 21. And that one won't get counted till the next supply phase, actually. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so he advances into there now. Although he's mechanised, he's now... Oh, I should take that away, Grant. Oops. This is going to be vulnerable now next as well. I'll take that marker away because it's no longer ours. So yeah, although he's mechanised and unit was eliminated, he doesn't get to advance the second hex because he's moved into an enemy town. He's now taken ownership of that town, so any following mechanised units will be allowed to advance second hex. Right, so he's next, he's unit 11. So it's a VP hex, but there's a unit already advanced into there, so he's going to advance on a roll of 1 to 6. Let me just check the restrictions here. Surrounded. Unit in hex in German supply won't advance that hex, not in German supply. That's not an issue. And won't advance if doing so causes Soviet proximity to empty garrison towns, city hex. Yeah, there's no issues with that as well. Okay, so he's fine. Right, so in a roll of 1 to 6, where's my dice? Unit 11 there. He's rolled a 9, so he's not going to advance. Next check would be, well, I've got 2 13s, but this is the lowest core number, 2 instead of 57. So he's to check. Again, he'll advance on a 1 to 6. He's rolled an 8. Okay. Yeah, I suppose that is quite good for us. Right, so next guy is unit 13. So, well, he's going to advance in the same as well, because there's a VP hex, there's only 1 unit advance, so I will 1 to 6. He rolls a 3. Okay, so he will advance, I'll put him down the bottom, and he's not mechanised, so won't advance the second hex. Now, unit 18 is looking at 2 units already advanced, so will not advance. And that is that. Well, I say that as that. He's not within 2, is he? No. Just looking there, we're going to Kampfgruppe again and grab 3, but he's not. He's 3 away. So, yeah, well, that's that. The impulse, well, kind of over. It's not really. Because we eliminated that unit, the major offensive is going to allow a second activation now of second SS. So, this card goes away. I wonder if we can just drop that on the carpet somewhere and lose it. It's yeah, not nice. And I'm running out of space. And we've got a whole activation to go again. Right, I don't want to turn this into another part though, but I better upload what I've got just now off the camera. So I'll do that and I'll be back shortly, okay? Cheers. Hi all. Right, back to finish part 74 with, yeah, some deja vu. Another activation of this second SS Panzer Corps Kampfgruppe card. Right, I've had a look around and obviously it is just going to grab these 2 again. There is 2 within 2 here again, but it goes easternmost if there's a tie. Fortunately it doesn't grab this guy as well, so it's just these 2 again. So yeah, let's activate them. They're not behind Soviet lines. Move to VP Hex, move to German VP Hex, only if, yeah, you know, after the move, if something's proximate, they could move to here, but nothing's going to be proximate. Interestingly though, here's a case where this would have, or could have happened, if this guy had just been 1 hex further and been involved in the Kampfgruppe. then he would have moved to here, because then this unit is, I guess the reason that's stuck in my mind is because Martin's just pointed out that this guy would then be proximate, you know. So that's a case where that would have happened. Well, I say it would have happened unless any restrictions were broken. That's a case where that would have come in. However, he is not active, so these two don't achieve the same effect by moving to there. That's what it probably could. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this guy could move to here. However, that doesn't make a Soviet unit proximate to that unit. So, okay, so move on. So it is these two units, and we're going to draw 2 action cards now, yet again. So let's see what we get this time. Strong attack and advance. Strong attack is first. So let's see. Now, that's 4 times, thankfully. Oh, is it? Yeah, it's other active units. Right, okay. I think we're okay. You know, because I was kind of worried about this guy again, because if that had been major offensive again, or something with 2 times. No, however, yeah, it would have to be the major offensive, because it needs to get a -1 on the. So, yeah, it needs to get a -1 on this, because if these could be proximate to this, it's 6 to 3. Oh, yeah, well, a 2 to 1. A 2 to 1 would work. However, anyway, that card's looking for a 4 times strength. And they 2 units with 6 would need something with a strength of 1 to go and find an attack. And they're not going to get that. So can we just move on quickly, Grant? Hopefully. Situational strength of active unit stat and other active units. So it counts on both. But it needs 4 times. And situationally, the command card value is a 2, so that doesn't count, and there's no major offensive card involved. So that's the 2 sort of minuses that can generally come in at. You've got dispersed, unsupported, unsupplied, but none of that's going to apply. I mean, yeah, admittedly, I need to watch now, because these units above this line are going to be unsupplied. Something to keep in mind, Grant. Try and keep in mind. However, we are almost, well, we're trying to get to the end of the turn. Right, so, okay, so I don't think strong attack's going to happen. So what about advance? So active unit able to move at least 1 hex in the forward direction. Going in descending order. So look at this guy first. Well, he can. Yeah. He can, so for this action we'll increase the moving unit's printed movement allowance by 2. Increase the movement allowance by 2. Movement direction indicated by the forward movement arrow in unit's hex. Stop when movement allowance spent or upon entering Soviet VP hex or a hex adjacent to Soviet unit. May end move in dangerous surround. So, okay, so he's going to move into here. Where's the movement arrow then? It's going that way. So he's crossing the minor river there, so that would be 1, 2, but remember he's got a movement allowance of 8. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, well, we're off the camera there. Okay. Is this what he wants to be doing? Stop when movement allowance spent or upon entering Soviet VP hex. No. Or a hex adjacent to Soviet unit. Well, I never came near a Soviet unit. So let me double check that hex again. Yeah, the arrow's definitely pointing that way. There's no other arrow. So 1, 2 crossing the minor river, 3 along the road, 4 along the road, 5 along the road, 6 along the road, 7 along the road, and then 8 into there. Okay. Well, the thing is, his buddy's going to come with him, isn't he? So has a restriction been broken there? I don't think there is. Hold on, Grant. Yeah, no. He's allowed to end in dangerous round, which I think he might well be there. 1, 2, 3, 4. This guy can go 1 out and in. So yeah, he is in dangerous round. But however, it's got it on the card. It's allowed by the action. I'm not causing proximity to anything, and I'm not putting anybody else in dangerous round. And I wasn't surrounding anything, so yeah. And I'm not ending in a marsh. Okay, so yeah, I think he's going to do that. So my guess is his buddy there is going to do something similar. So yeah, he's got 8 movement. That first arrow's into here, and then he's just going to follow. Now he's coming across the bridge here, so there's no extra movement. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. He's going to come right down into here. There's about a bit like that. Let everybody see. Yeah, because he was coming across the actual bridge here, whereas the other unit came across the minor river unbridged. This is bridged, so gets an extra movement out of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and he's finished adjacent to Soviet unit. Yeah, and again, was he breaking any restrictions? Don't believe so. Right, hang on. Well, that garrison there, I think, stopping any shenanigans, really, isn't it? Just thinking about these getting round about here. 1, 2, 3. Right, hang on. We can get something in here. I think he's still going to have his out hex here, isn't he? Yeah, I can't. Oh, I can get something into there. I cannot get anything up in here. No. And this guy here, well, he wasn't causing anything about that anyway. I mean, if this guy was in dangerous zone, which I don't actually think he is. 1, 2, 3, 4. He can get into there, but I'm pretty sure he's going to have an out into there as well, isn't he? We can't get around into here either. Yeah, can't get that far up. So yeah, no, I think that's right. I think that's what they're going to do. Okay, that's quite interesting then, I suppose. I wasn't really expecting that. Yeah. So, well, that's the 2 units had their activation, so yeah, they're kind of away from everybody else, but I don't see anything that's restricting them from doing that and stopping them from carrying out that. Not that I'm aware of. It's probably not what we want, really. Although what it does do is maybe take a bit more force away from this, which I suppose now we need to try and get back, don't we? Well, not just get this back, but protect this one too. I mean, Kharkov's close by as well, but it could mean that we want to bring this stuff down. I don't know about all this. You know, it's right. Okay, right. I'm running out of juice for my camera this time, not space. So that's that done. There was no more units to do anything. There was just the two, the camp group. So that's that impulse finally over. So I'll add this on to the other bit and we'll get this uploaded. Again, I would kind of like to watch it back, but I'm probably going to have another part later this afternoon, so I might just chuck it out there and keep my fingers crossed. We'll see. Anyway, I'll be back with part 75, hopefully sometime soon. Okay, cheers guys.